Now, this is a story all about how their lives got flipped turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, I'll tell you how he became the king of a place called Hollow Nest. Yeah, it doesn't really fit, but welcome to the mostly incomplete lore of Hollow Knight, which will be the quickest, simplest, and possibly worst explanation of the game. So enjoy! I'm gonna take you back to before Hollow Nest was even Hollow Nest, like a long time ago. In its place was an ancient civilization of bugs who didn't worship other bugs, they worshipped the void. This magical black stuff, kind of like a dark force that originates in the abyss. It can do all sorts of mystical things, but more on that later. And on the other side, in opposition of the void, we have its #1 enemy, Taylor Swift. No, the Radiance. The Radiance, kind of like Taylor Swift though, has tons of worshippers, a lot of influence, has the power to turn others into mindless husks, and really doesn't like it when she doesn't get her own way. Except the Radiance is a big powerful moth made of light who created the moth tribe with, light. At least she managed to win around a few other tribes too that she didn't, make herself. Something else you should probably know is that we have no idea if the ancient bugs that worship the void existed at the same time as the bugs who worship the Radiance, because the ancient bug civilization did disappear. We don't know when, we don't know why, but the Swifties at least persisted. Then, at some unknown point in the future, look, they worked out trams and lampposts, but not calendars. Anyway, something happened that would change the fate of Hollow Nest forever. Yes. The British are coming, let's go! Alright, obviously not the British, but a pale uninvited colonizer who thinks himself a god who just expects bugs to fall to his feet and worship him. The only difference is that he is actually a god, well, higher being is what they call them in this game, like the Radiance, and he used his magical god powers to give bugs the capacity to think, a sense of self-awareness, and ability to comprehend the world in a way that they'd never been able to. Damn, this would be really helpful in the real world. He arrived as a worm, shed his shell, and emerged looking like a regular peasant bug. Enter the Pale King. What a glow-up king. So the bugs can now think for themselves beyond, ooh, pretty light, and a lot of switching their allegiance to the Pale King, who promised them that their dedication and devotion would result in the kingdom of Hollow Nest lasting eternally. Even the Moth tribe turned their back on the Radiance. Those bitches! If you learn one thing here today, let it be that you can never trust a moth. More time passes, the Pale King's influence causes what is essentially an industrial revolution, and Hollow Nest is becoming a pretty sweet place to live. In the golden age of the kingdom, visitors came from far and wide to set eyes upon the king and his shining palace, and Dirtmouth offered a respite for weary travelers on their way. So everybody's turning Team Pale King, and no one wants a piece of the Radiance anymore. She was being forgotten, and no one deserves to be forgotten. No one deserves to fade away. Take it away, Evan Hansen! No one's gonna get that reference, so let's keep going. Before she was completely forgotten, instead of dropping a new album with 34 variants, she got salty and tried the next best thing. Yep, she watched Nightmare on Elm Street and started creeping into everyone's dreams. Some bugs try to resist, so she'd corrupt their minds until they fall into a deep sleep, then wake up with broken minds and deformed bodies, basically enslaved to the Radiance. So basically, you either accept the Radiance and she owns your mind, or resist the Radiance and she still owns your mind, but you're also now an orange bloated zombie-like husk who attacks pretty much anyone and anything that isn't like you. That's the infected. The infection started because some chose to resist. Back to the Pale King. Obviously, orange isn't really his colour, and he doesn't fancy giving up his palace that easily, so he comes up with a plan. Sex. A lot of sex. With his wife, the White Lady. What? What do you mean this is the first time I've mentioned her? Yeah, he's married, and she's the Queen of Hollow Nest. What was that? Did she come here with the Pale King, or did she live here already? Great question. Anyway, yeah, the king's bright idea was basically to crank out hundreds of children with his wife in the abyss where void could seep into them, leaving them with no mind, no will, no emotion, no thoughts, head empty, so they can't be influenced by the Radiance. They discarded the spares, yes, I'm talking about their children, until they picked the perfect, pure vessel offspring to store and seal the Radiance away. Now, I'm child-free, so I'll never understand wanting children, but I feel like I should say that having a child just so you can trap a vengeful moth god inside their body like a high-stakes piñata is not exactly parent of the year material. So we have the vessel, the one considered pure, the favourite child, the one we know as the Hollow Knight. I know, what a shocking twist, this whole time we weren't even the Hollow Knight, it's my sibling. and that sibling was taken to be raised and trained in the White Palace. In the meantime, the king asked 3 bugs to become dreamers, basically being put into an eternal nap while also acting as padlocks for the temple that would hold the Hollow Knight, that would hold the Radiance. See, this isn't confusing at all. Quick side note, one of the dreamers, Hera, Queen of Deepness, only said yes if the king would also have a kid with her too. Jeez, is the dick really that good? Also, is it cheating if it's for political reasons? Because the White Lady seemed totally chill about all of this. Anyway, that child was Hornet Silksong, and Hornet didn't get dumped in the abyss like the Vessels, hence why she's called the gendered child, and all the Vessels are genderless, but they're all still half-siblings, and wait, what? Genderless? There's woke in my video game? I'm kidding, we love that. Anyway, after all that, the chosen vessel actually wasn't as pure as they thought. Hear that, parents? This is why you never pick a favourite. They're going to disappoint you at some point. It's a part of life. You have to accept that. And to make matters worse, the Pale King knew the Hollow Knight wasn't really hollow and pure, but still went, good enough. So you can probably imagine what happened next. The Hollow Knight fell victim to the Radiance too. The infection reappeared in Hallownest, the Pale King disappeared with his White Palace, and then our knight, the protagonist of Hollow Knight, the game Hollow Knight, not to be confused with the character, the Hollow Knight, the knight begins their journey through Hallownest, seemingly forgetting their traumatic birth and immediate abandonment. Fast forward literally the entire game, and there's 5 endings, so I'll try and summarize those as best as I can. Number 1, congrats, you swapped places with your sibling, generational trauma continues. Number 2, now you and your half-sister are stuck in the family curse, possibly the most awkward sibling sleepover. Number 3, with the help of the Void Heart charm, you and the Shades of the Abyss tag team the Radiance directly. Yeah, yeet the fuck out of here. Number 4, in Godhome, you fight every boss ever, and then you beat Absolute Radiance. Good news, now you get to be the existential horror. Number 5, you killed God and remembered to bring flowers. And Hornet is there. I don't know why people are saying this is a happy sibling reunion. She looks like she's about to start fighting for her life. Maybe the Hollow Knight wants revenge. So there's a lot missing from this retelling, I did warn you, but at least I didn't bring up Corey in the house. I mean, I also didn't explain the Dream Realm, the Dreamers, Godhome, the Grim Troop, Zote, how the palace even ended up where it is, the Path of Pain, Grubbs, Quirrell, the White Lady feeling ashamed and locking herself away, very relatable queen by the way, Charms, Fluke Milf, Lifeblood, Relics, the Last Stag storyline, Mr. Mushroom, the Grey Mourner and her goddamn ridiculous fragile flower, just find a new florist, the Mask Maker, the entire Hive area and their Queen Vesper, distant villages, the 5 Great Knights, look, there's a lot, but you get the gist, right? If you want the full explanation, or kind of like as full as you're gonna get, because there's still quite a few mysteries in this game, then I'd highly recommend checking out Mossbag's video. That's kind of like the gold standard for lore videos in the world of Hollow Knight. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh yes, the giveaway. Sorry it's so late, I want to give away a few copies of Silksong through streams and videos over the next week or so, and I don't know the best way to do it, so winners, I will just send you £20 by whatever method works for both of us, and to be in with the chance of winning a copy of Hollow Knight Silksong for yourself, all you need to do is leave a comment on this video and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Then I'll use a random generator to pick someone while I'm live on stream before Silksong drops tomorrow. That means you have until 1:30 PM UTC on the 4th, so that's half an hour before Silksong goes live, and if you're not able to make the stream, don't worry, I will make a community post announcing the winner so you can claim your prize. More details are in the description, and good luck.